members as well here. And we are here for you every meeting. And we have our public meetings once a month, but 2 sessions in one meeting. And it's on the first Wednesday of the month, every first Wednesday of the month, folks, for the last 10 years now, almost 10 years. We've been here doing this, gathering some of the finest minds in the world together to teach and share their knowledge. And everyone hops in here. We are not charging anything, so grab it while you can. And knowledge is power, so why not? Okay, join us every first Wednesday of the month. There's so much to learn. All right, so I'm going to share screen so you can see who we are, what we do, and who's going to speak, the agenda for this meeting, our 145th meeting. Here we are. We have here my PowerPoint presentation, which is, you can see our logo, my Design for Physics logo, and our website, truevisionofpeace.com/physics.html, a platform where science meets spirituality. I have to repeat this every video because it's a standalone video, folks. Excuse me for that. So Physics 145th meeting today is on the 4th of March. And I'm here chairing the meeting with co-chair Dr. Pruess, with the team, Pontus, Hendrik, Jerry, Tricia Mona Scott. I think Fernando's not here. Matty's in the Philippines. He has to stay up all night to attend the meetings, although he's so keen and interested for every meeting's attendance. So here is our, well, I do it very quickly. I don't want to read through it because you can go to our website to look at our mission statement and our objective and what we do, blah, 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 and how to join us and all that. So we just finished the first session where Professor Dr. Michael Clark was speaking about his inventions, the Ione device, specifically on a PMF and on frequencies, on hydrogen, and so on and so forth. So it's really fascinating. And now in the second session, we're going to welcome our second speaker, Craig Pruess, who's not new to physics. He was supposed to be speaking with Magic Mike a year ago in January 2025. When I was in South Asia, I guess that was when the MerlinsChamber was presented with Mike Emery as well, helping Magic Mike to present it, and Craig's music was played there. So Craig Pruess is the British Academy Award versatile film and TV composer. I will read his bio in a moment. So when we finish with the Q&A, that's it. We'll adjourn the 145th meeting to the 146th meeting on the 1st of April. You won't forget it. It's April Fool's Day, but we won't April Fool you. We will be here seriously having a serious physics meeting, okay, at 6:30 p.m. GMT. I think by that time, we'll put the clock forward 1 hour. We would have done that already, end of March, 26th of March, we do that, right? So be careful about the time change. So, right. If you want to write to me, it's crystal@truevisionofpeace.com. Our website's truevisionofpeace.com/physics. And subscribe to all of our channels. Please, please, please subscribe. And don't just take it for granted and just get the announcement through your feed, because we need your support with the subscription. Otherwise, YouTube will just cut our views and our followers, and it's not good because we're not getting monetized. We're not getting any support financially. So everything's out of pocket from me and my members here. So folks, please subscribe, okay? And join the Telegram group as well, where you can do a integration with the other knowledge from the other members of Telegram and do study groups and things like that, okay? Right, so I want to be able to introduce Craig Pruess properly. Yes, I'm reading his bio now. As customary of physics meetings, every speaker is honored with a proper introduction with the bio. Craig Pruess, British Academy Award versatile film and TV composer, arranger, project leader, and world music multi-instrumentalist, has a wide-ranging musical output to his credit. He has composed the original music for the second series of the BBC's hugely popular 5 Days, written by Gwyneth Hughes and produced by Caroline Skinner. The cast included Suran Jones, David Morrissey, Bernard Hill, and Anne Reid. Craig has more than 14 best-selling world music and chart records to his credit, regularly performing in concerts from Glastonbury Festival in Woolmat to Highgrove, Sacred Chants of Shiva, a project involving international humanitarians, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar has sold more than 10 million copies in India, Bhutan, Pakistan, and Nepal. Previously, he earned a British Academy Award nomination for the BBC's 3-part groundbreaking drama Moses Jones, for which he was also nominated for a Royal Television Society Award. Craig Pruess is a film composer's Levitating Wizard is from his album Merlin's Trance Pulse, which we will hear later, which has been composed under the influence of Euphoria from the Triple Cones and the MerlinsChamber, Orgone energy accumulator technology that was taught by Mike Emery, the quantum physicist, the renowned quantum physicist. And MerlinsChamber was built by Magic Mike, and they're all here. The team is here, folks, in this session. Well, they were in Professor's session as well, because Professor's Mike's friend too, and it was Mike who introduced these 2 speakers for today's meeting. Thank you, Mike. So this composition utilizes a shamanic 4-bit rhythm that morphs into a triple bit at 99 bits per minute. Each 3 of the 3-bit phrases, creating a tempo of 33 bits per minute. It is the Trinity, folks, number 3. The key is the Earth frequency, D, 288 Hz scale. Perfect temperament, but this time in Lydian mode with Sarangi, Indian bowed instrument, taking the lead in the second half. And I think Craig's going to show us more developments as it's been 1 year down the road now. Over to you, Craig.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Crystal left off in her introduction that I'm actually American, but I'm a British Academy Award.
I'm sorry.
Nominated.
Yes, you are American.
So just to explain the British accent, that's basically, which I've never lost,
But you live in England. Okay.
Yeah, I came to England when I was 22 years old in 1973. And I loved all the sounds coming out of the British studios in London. And it attracted me here, and I thought I would just try my hand, and I ended up staying. Within a couple of years, I got a recording contract and then started doing became in demand as a session player. And then within 8 years, I was producing Sir Cliff Richard, which was a big surprise to me because my recording band at that time was instrumental and more in the mold of Mahavishnu Orchestra, Return to Forever Chick Corea, Weather Report. And here I hear all out of the blue, I get a call from Sir Cliff saying, "Craig, I've heard something you've done. I think we should work together."
Sir Cliff Richard.
Wow. And I thought, okay. And I met up with him and I started arranging all his tracks, producing his tracks, playing keyboards, trumpet, percussion on his tracks. And we hit it off.
Can I ask you a question now that you talk about
guy? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Now that you talk about Sir Cliff Richard, What is his music keyed on? What hertz? Is it the American industry standard of 440 hertz? Or is
Yeah,
it 432 hertz that the Beatles are were tuning theirs on?
yeah. My awareness of the A432 frequency, which has since been refined even more
That's the
to
low
be B
frequency.
flat 460.8, which is a real fundamental frequency, as
Wonderful.
shown by cymatics, really didn't come into my awareness until the 1990s. And it was in the 1980s that I produced Sir Cliff Richard. So I was very much like all musicians at that time, recording everything in A440 and the standard tuning, because I was writing for orchestras, brass sections, and everything. And my activism in the last 20 years for the new frequencies, it comes across this stumbling block that we need to redesign all the orchestral instruments, except violin, viola, cello, and double bass, because they don't have frets and they can detune successfully. But piano tuners, I've had long conversations with my piano tuners with my grand piano. Why can't you lower the pitch to A432? And he said, well, basically because the pin block would become loose and it would go out of tune. So we need a revolution in instrument design and manufacture. You know, in Rossini's time and Bach's time, all the orchestras played in A432. Now, A432 is significant because cymatics, which is the science and art of showing the patterns of different frequencies. Okay, John Stuart Reid is the great inventor of the cymoscope, and he's confirmed to a bunch of us the actual beautiful harmony in the frequencies A432, particularly in the frequencies of B flat 460.8, and then also the D288 frequencies. And he's displayed this wonderful coherence in the patterns that are created by these frequencies. Now, I think 70 years ago, Chladni and some other researchers had put fine sand on a metal plate and then taken a bow or chanted to it. And what happened, the frequencies would make it settle into a pattern. And there are a lot of YouTube videos showing cymoscope. So it's been through quite a process of transformation. But the cymoscope is now a wonderful calibrated instrument that can reproduce weeks later the exact pattern from the exact frequency. And he's used it for medical research, finding different frequencies that help blood samples. John Stuart Reid is an amazing person. It's worth checking out. So that's a confirmation for the frequencies that I've used now for 15 years in my recordings. But back with Cliff Richard, that wasn't in my awareness. I was a jobbing arranger, session musician, and record producer, and I saw my records become gold and rise up the charts at that time. Being 31 years old and given that kind of opportunity was wonderful. And I remember we did a Christmas hit called Little Town, and Cliff said, well, why don't you get really big brass section? How about 20 people? I thought, wow, how much is that going to cost? And so we spent good money. It wasn't a problem. And we all met at Abbey Road as like a reunion of the London brass players. And that record took off in the charts, number 7 in the charts. It was a wonderful time to do that and have that creativity, supported. And all that time I was pursuing all my own composing, always an experimental composer, using all the latest technology and everything. And slowly in the 1990s, I developed this idea to create Sanskrit chants, but to do the Sanskrit chants in a much slower pace, and also create this cinematic, wonderful, rich sound that the chanting would go over. And my first album, Sacred Chants of Shiva, was developed over 5 years. I didn't know there'd be any market for it. And then someone in India heard it and said, wow, everybody in India should hear these Sanskrit chants. And Times of India, the biggest media company in India, took it on, and it went completely viral all over India. And it's also been championed by leaders of the human development movement, like Eckhart Tolle, Tony Robbins, Sri Ravi Shankar, Byron Bay. Many of these teachers have embraced the frequency in those Sanskrit chants is very powerful. Yeah, so that's I've had quite a few prongs in my musical career that I've all pursued all with great enthusiasm because they just spontaneously manifested. Yeah, so I think the frequency part of music. Oh, and by the way, uh, 16 months ago, I was walking in the beautiful Cotswold Hills behind my house, and I slipped and fell, and I completely broke in two my fibula bone. And it was Magic Mike that recommended that I get in touch with Professor Mike Clark. And I got an Ioni device, and I strapped it to my ankle, and it absolutely created the fusing of the bones in half the normal time. So I can really vouch. And then I was so impressed with Michael Clark and my discussions with him. I thought, you know, Professor Mike, you should talk to Mike Emery. And since then, they've really gone on and had a wonderful exchange. They have many similar ideas, and they both, I think Professor Mike has learned a lot from Mike Emery and his radical take on physics. So I met Mike Emery in late summer of 2022. And it was a friend of mine, a joint friend of both of ours, Louis Standens, who tragically passed on now about 2 years ago, quite suddenly. And he just got us together on a call. And I immediately hit it off with Mike because I have a physics background too. I did physics at MIT, and I love ideas that are stimulating and really in left field. That's all I can say. Really, um, not the normal things. I always had this intuition that modern physics was completely distorted. And then later, my own research, I found out that the physicists in the early 1900s did get together to limit what would be said about modern physics, and I think it was the Copenhagen Agreement or something. And that always that resonated with me. And then I met Mike, and everything he was saying, I thought, okay, here's somebody who really knows the deeper stuff. And so then Christmas, I was gifted by another one of Mike Emery's colleagues, David Bingham, a wonderful set of triple cones, wonderful set, really powerful. And David Bingham has really perfected the way to make these Orgone accumulator triple cones in such a way that they radiate. And you put them in a triangle. So it was Christmas. I think it was a couple of days before Christmas. He just left them. I wasn't in. My daughter, who was 15 at the time, she let him in, and I found these triple cones. And with the instructions, put them in a triangle. It'll create an Orgone field, or basically BubbleTech, what Mike Emery calls BubbleTech. And I put it around our bed, and my wife and I, for about 3 or 4 nights, had incredible dreams of dolphins, oceans, euphoria. And we wake up and say, wow, what is this? What's happening? And my son, who was at that time 16 years old, or then maybe 17, he overheard this and said, can I try them around? And at that time, we just got the first instructions how to build the Merlin's chamber. So my son and I built this Merlin's chamber out of copper. We had aluminum wire around the side. We put it on top of the triple cones, and we powered it up with a Tesla violet ray wand, vibrating at a frequency of 33,000 hertz. And my son slept under this for about 3 months. It was extremely powerful. I used to go and meditate in it, and I would feel quite transformed. And finally, my son came to me and said, it's a bit too powerful for me, Dad. Could we move it downstairs? So I said, sure, move it downstairs. I set it up right next to my grand piano where I composed a lot. And my wife and I started doing, many years we've done breathing techniques and meditation. We both have a long history of that. I have 55 years experience of that, and daily practice we do. And there it was on my piano. And I remember Mike Emery telling me, well, it is an intention amplifier. You go into the tetrahedron of the Merlin's chamber and have an intention. So I thought, okay. And I remember these intentions I used to say in my 20s and 30s, Lord, make me an instrument of thy divine will, right? So I actually got in the Merlin's chamber and I did some breathing, and I was in a very meditative state. And I said, make me an instrument. I've had all these years of writing music. Let me see how I can help this and express this beautiful energy. And that night, I had a complete download of a whole new piece of music, just like in an instant, bang, like that. Came in. I saw all the parts, saw how it was. I went in the recording studio about a quarter of the normal time that I take to fashion a musical piece. It just immediately fell into place like that. My wife came in and she said, what is this music? I've never heard you do this kind of music. I said, well, this is just the download I had from the Merlin's chamber. She goes, wow, like that, and I was using all the frequencies. In fact, the first download I did was C sharp, and it was the C sharp 270 hertz, which is quite a powerful frequency. And I just had settled on that as a resonant. And then over the weeks that followed, 8, 9 more pieces came. And this was quite a breakthrough. It created a whole new direction for me in composing. And it was all under the influence of the Euphoria and the triple cones. So, yeah, this happened. And then during the summer of 2023, I got a call from Magic Mike in Birmingham and said, Craig, I hope you don't call me out. Hope you don't mind me calling you out of the blue, but I've been listening to your Merlin's Transpulse pieces. And he says they're really powerful. And I think we could do something really amazing for people to experience this energy. And I said, well, what do you have in mind? I was very intrigued. And he said, well, I think we should get a subwoofer. He said, I have built a Merlin's chamber and we set it up some there with a subwoofer, 2 big speakers. And then we can also sit on chairs have the coil underneath the chair where you get the bass frequency up your spine, vibrating up your spine. So I thought, wow, this is great. And I mentioned it to a good friend of mine who was actually a frequency researcher, Fred Shelbourne. And he's done a lot of the deeper research that I've been using in my compositions, so especially the B flat 4680, 460.8. And he had a studio in his back garden. He said, yeah, let's come set up the gear there. We spent a whole day into late at night setting up this Merlin's chamber with 2 enormous speakers. And Magic Mike had ordered these speaker coils that you screw underneath a wood chair. So 2 people could sit in the Merlin's chamber while I would play my musical pieces. And we put the word out in the Stroud area. I live in Stroud in the Cotswolds. We had an amazing response. Like 42 people in 3 days came, each for a half-hour session. We had all the local healers, the local Reiki people, the local dancers, musicians, just energy people, yoga teachers, people that were somehow heard the call about this thing. So I welcome them in. I've had them sit down and explain a little bit about the Merlin's chamber and the research of Wilhelm Reich into orgone energy, and that this was an amplifier. And I have them relax. I do a 5-minute meditation, and then I'd play this piece of music. I'd kind of creep in the volume, but it was very yeah. There you go. That's the image. In fact, that is from one of our first sessions. And people would then go into a deep meditation, and they found they could go really deep, even though the music was quite powerful. And people were reporting that it was like having a sound bath, that every particle of their being was vibrating. And they would travel, and a couple of young guys said, "This is better than mushrooms," you know. And universally, everyone said it was an extremely powerful experience. It amplified my original intention in the music. But not only that, it gave them a good dose of this Orgone Euphoria energy from the triple cones. So Magic Mike and I thought we should give this a name, and we call it the MerlinsChamber experience. And we then took it to Glastonbury, and we set up there. Same thing happened there. People, amazing response. And then we took it to another venue in Glastonbury. And we're looking now really to set this up in all the major populations centers around. I mean, I'm having visions of big Merlin's chambers with like 20 people in it and big cinematic speakers, and do it this way because there's something about the frequencies, the orgone energy, the combination of the meditative aspect that really comes together in this whole thing. So we're really excited about doing this and expanding on it. Yeah, so that ties in with my relationship with Mike Emery, and since then I've been recording music for the different ethers. One of the important aspects of Mike Emery's work is his, like Tesla, talking about the ethers and the importance of the ethers. Well, we worked out the different frequencies of light purple, and then took it down into the audio range, and I started recording music for the pentagonal ethers and then the hexagonal ethers. And these pieces became extremely powerful for meditation. And they were using the exact frequencies as translated down maybe 52 octaves from the electromagnetic range of the light purple color. And so when I was meditating in this, I thought this is even more powerful. Now, we haven't used that yet, this new set of music yet in the MerlinsChamber experience yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot to explore in the application of frequency and also the listening experience. And I really think the MerlinsChamber offers an incredible opportunity for people to experience the pure vibration of music, but also through the intention of the composer who surrendered himself to the MerlinsChamber energy, really, and expresses that, and then have it amplified. You see, I have, for 50 years now, I have a training in Indian classical music. And the Indian classical music is different from Western music because basically Indian music is always related to a constant tone. They call it the tonic, or in Indian music, it's called sa, right? And sa is that unchanging, you know, it's a bit like Celtic music and other drone music you have. A lot of the ancient European folk music is all based on a drone. But this also means that the importance of each note and how it's inflected. See, my sitar teacher used to use this beautiful analogy. He said, in our music, we treat each note like a child to be ornamented and presented to God like that, you know, wonderful. And he used to love me playing him. I used to get old recordings of Bach partitas and fugues, and he'd listen to it in amazement. And he said, you have all this multiplicity, it's wonderful for the mind, but you lost the power of the perfect frequencies, because when you have polyphony and all the different keys, you need to distort the tuning of every single key slightly. And I became very aware of this. I would practice sitar and do sitar concerts and be involved. I come back and I have to write some music for television. I play piano, C to E, a major third. Wow, it was so jarring and so artificial. And the major third in Indian music is very sweet, and it follows the perfect frequencies. Yeah, like 3/2 for the fifth, 4/3 for the third, for the fourth, and then 5/6 for the third. So the perfect frequencies, it's called the temperament, right? So perfect temperament is a very dissonant really consonant relationship with each tone, where Western music has all the polyphony and amazing diversity of all the different keys and modulations. But to do that, it needs to distort away from the perfect temperament into what's called equal temperament. So the reason you pay a piano tuner so much money is to put all 12 keys equally out of tune. It's incredible. So you can play your Bach, you can play your show tunes, you can play your Beatles songs, you do the repertoire of Western music. Yeah, there's some composers in the Western idiom who have acknowledged the power of drone. Otto Part has been some, and others that have started to incorporate it. I worked with the Liverpool Philharmonic and had everybody listen to the perfect drone. See, the tambura drone generates all the perfect harmonics up like that. And I had them listen to it, and I asked them to play the score that I composed in the perfect temperament. And the strings locked together, and they loved it. They could hear it. They could hear the change. And and again, we did that with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in a concert in London. So there are ways to get string players to start hearing the perfect temperament. And then it blends beautifully with sitar, with sarangi, uh, Indian bansuri, and you get this beautiful merging of sounds. Well, through computer technology, I'm able to do that with the Merlin's transpulse pieces. And that's why underneath you have this underlying tone that you can put to the wooden chairs that vibrate, you can put to the subwoofer, and then the music builds on that, because my pieces are almost like raga based, but using a lot of Western instruments and Indian instruments as well. So they kind of merge together. So I think it's an exciting time for the evolution of a new kind of music on this planet that really acknowledges the Vedic music. The Vedic music goes back tens of thousands of years. This is pre-Hindu, pre-Buddhist. But in the Vedic knowledge, they had the knowledge of perfect health through Ayurveda, through herbs, through purification routines, the 20 steps of Ayurveda. And one of the steps of Ayurveda is to listen to the correct raga at the right time of day. The raga melodies in the ancient system of melodies in Indian classical music, they're all linked to certain times of the day. And I became so attuned to this years ago when I was, studying, really intensely studying Indian music. My sitar teacher said, okay, it's midsummer, we're going to do an experiment today. We're going to get up before dawn and go out and walk in the fields. And I thought, well, that's a bit extreme. He said, no, you'll see. So we did that, and we're talking away. And he said, no, you can hear a little bit of the melody of the birds. And I listened, and he said, yeah. We're talking a bit again. And then the sun peeked over the horizon, and he said, now listen to the melodies of the birds. And they'd all changed. They all were singing a different melody. And he explained that this is called, in Sanskrit, it's called praharas. For every 4 hours of the daytime, there's a different frequency that all living things reflect. The cawing of crows, bird song, buzzing of bees, everything is affected by the time of day and the passage of the sun. And that really demonstrated to me the power of this. And I could start hearing in the evening ragas, I could start hearing the energy of the evening. In the afternoon ragas, I could feel the heat and sitting under the tree and the buzzing of the bees. And they're all there in the melodies. And these melodies go back thousands and thousands of years. And it says the ancient rishis, they didn't compose these melodies. All they did was they became perfectly attuned to all of nature, the bubbling of the streams and the buzzing of the bees and the bird song. And they catalog the ragas according to the time of day. And this is passed on through generation to generation and has been kept alive by the tradition of Indian classical music. Yeah, so with technology, it's impossible to really hone in accurately to frequencies. And this is what this new wave of composing has really generated for me. And recently, Mike Emery and I were exploring the idea of having a main subtone, but with a carrier tone, which is slightly close to it, but it creates an interference pattern, like a at a certain rate. So we got this interference pattern at 33 hertz, 33 times per second. But the base frequency was based on one of the ethers. So it's been wonderful, wonderful journey for me, you know. I don't have any idea when this will go mainstream. I've got a record company now that wants to release all my back catalog, and they want to release some of my new recordings too, and get it on Spotify. So on YouTube, you can look Merlin's Trance Pulse. And there are a whole set of pieces, including the pentagonal ethers, the hexagonal ethers, and the different pieces that that came out from composing under the influence of the triple cuts and BubbleTech and MerlinsChamber.
You know, Craig, you're a great musician. So you gave an account of how you met with Mike Emery and Magic Mike and Magic
Yeah.
Mike. Then
Yeah,
subsequently,
so I explained that it was a mutual friend, Louis Standens, who has since quite tragically passed on, but he's in a good place. And he'd known me for like 15 years, and he said, "Craig, you've got to meet Mike Emery, you know, meet Mike Emery." So I said, "Okay, let's do it," you know. So we got Mike on the phone. We exchanged, you know, our countenances on WhatsApp, and that was it. We started chatting, and next thing I got was within 4 months, I got triple cones delivered to my house from an old friend who had known me from the transcendental community, transcendental meditation community in Lancashire, had remembered me and said, "Oh, I hear you're talking with Mike Emery. I'd love to gift you these 3 triple cones." And he takes about 2 weeks making them, and they're made out of exotic materials. There's shungite, there's anchi crystals, sand, rosin, and you can put ashwagandha in it, and there are a lot more, even powdered platinum, powdered gold, powdered silver. We got some Sai Baba vibhuti ash as well, and it's made very systematically. And plus, you play the cones as you're making them and setting them. You play frequencies to them as well. So, and some people, when they make the cones, they give them a name to make a personal connection to them. So, but they're made and they stand about 19 inches high, about 10 inches, 12 inches wide at the base. And they set up a non-capacitance field set up as a triangle. Then when you build the tetrahedron, the copper tube frame, maybe 2 meters by, well, 2 meters per side. A tetrahedron is a very basic, powerful, shape, calcium in the bones forms tetrahedrons. Also, Metatron's cube. It's fundamental for energy workers. So, yeah. So it was our discussions over the telephone. I was very interested in Mike telling me that it's an intention amplifier, and that's really what kicked off all these new pieces of music. And then when Magic Mike contacted me and called me up, that started the MerlinsChamber experience that I was telling everybody about.
Right. If you want to visit Craig's website, as I've said to everyone before, it's linked up to the speaker's name. The website's always linked up. Go to our website and you can see. Now, I just want to share screen and show you so you can read all about Craig's work. This is Craig's website. It's just craigpruess.co.uk. And you can play all the tracks from there, from his website. Okay, so you can listen to the music. But I think Magic Mike has given us a link to share. So if I would just if you would allow me to share the link, then I can play the track as well. Okay, let's just stop sharing now. Let me look for the link that Magic Mike has just put on chat for me to share. Okay. Okay. Sorry, it takes a while to look for it because when I show something else, it got obliterated. Yeah, I found it. So I'm going to share screen now. And so let's have a listen to the pulse, the trance pulse that Craig produced. And well, you need to relax so you can absorb it properly. There you go. This is the Mighty Castle Flyover, Merlin's Trance Pulse by Craig Pruess. I have to stop a moment. Is the music coming out fine, folks? Because
could be a bit louder.
Could be a bit louder. Okay. It's coming out right. There's no echoes?
No.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Oops. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to share screen again. I beg your pardon. Okay, there you go. I'm going to make it louder now. The loudest it can get. Right. I let it play for 5 full minutes, folks, so you can get the benefits of the
Thank you, Crystal.
We stopped before the best bit, Crystal. It's about 1.5 minutes before there's like a crescendo. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, but it sounds quite tinny and very low volume on this podcast. But anyway, you can go put it through your home speakers.
But this is the different one that we heard a year ago when Magic Mike was doing a presentation with Mike Emery on the Merlin's Chamber a year ago. It's a different one, isn't it?
One we played.
House or something. Yeah. So this one, folks, I want to say is in the chat. So all of you who attend this meeting live, it's always very beneficial because you get the safe chat and you get to get all the links. Could you please save chat, because Magic Mike had posted this link that I just played on chat. Okay, do you know how to save chat? Pontus, could you do the honors? Show people how to save chat.
Oh yes, if you take your chat and make it big, you have 3 dots in the right top corner, and you hover your mouse over them, and there you have an option comes up with save chat.
Yeah, and save. So everything, the important questions, comments, whatever you got it in your possession, in your computer. Right. So I wanted to share what was presented a year ago on the precise day. If you go to physics video channel, YouTube channel, you will find it. Okay. It was January the 8th. We did a video recording with Mike Emery and Magic Mike on Merlin's Chamber. It's physics 132nd meeting. So I'm going to play a little bit of the, to recollect of the trance, of the music that was presented then. Okay, so, well, meanwhile, please, folks, while I'm looking for it, carry on with your chat with Craig.
Yeah. This music is really meant to play on really good, powerful speakers. Because I'm a film composer, so when I do big scenes in a powerful film, I like it to really resonate in the whole theater, like down to your bones. And good cinemas have good subwoofers, so they get frequency range goes right down to 20 hertz, which is wonderful. I mean, it's a musician's dream, really. And as a record producer, we used to be aware that people listened to our blood, sweat, and tears work on production through a little tinny radio speaker, but not so much now. It's people have headphones, much better sound. But back in the 80s, it was still, we'd have to make sure that our mixes sounded good in mono.
Okay, I'm gonna start off, Craig, if you let me. I'm gonna start off with what's her name? Sidika's testimony of how your music zapped her with the of course Merlin's Chamber along with it. So it's a real combo there. The frequency testimony for Craig. All right. So shall I play Sidika? This is from 08. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Oh my God, complete.
Okay. She said she was really zapped up with it. Okay,
this is after the Merlin's Chamber experience in Glastonbury.
Merlin's Chamber experience, Mike. The 2 mics here. Share. Okay, I'm gonna share now. Okay, here we go. This is what she's talking about.
And Craig has composed about 9 different pieces of music, all using these harmonics of nature earth tones developed by Fred Shelbourne. And Craig asked us to have an intention for what we wanted to experience. So we had the intention, and then the music started. And almost immediately I was like, oh my God, completely overwhelmed.
Stop scrolling.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is really annoying. I can't, because anybody has a computer that gets rid of all the ads. I can't share because the ads.
Actually, Crystal, I've got YouTube Premium. So.
Okay, you got YouTube Premium. Can you share that one, please? It's on the first minute, 09 minute onwards. The first hour.
Okay.
First hour, 09 minutes onwards. Thank you.
And it's.
I can't share videos now because I don't have Premium.
You should get it, Crystal. You should get YouTube Premium. I couldn't live without it.
Well, you know, you have to pay.
Yeah, £19 a month.
This. Yeah. I don't have an income because I'm doing this full time.
Oh, okay.
For free, yeah.
So is this FESIG? Which one was it? The one we done?
Okay, I'll give you the link. Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry. This is the FESIG 132nd meeting. It's on the 8th of January. I'll give you the link. It's amazing what Sadiqa was experiencing. So that's why I wanted to share, but the ad came into the way. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, hang on a minute. Let me just give you the link.
Well, Crystal is doing that. I was going to ask.
Yeah, you can share
Craig,
some
a question here. Yeah, with our frequencies that we look at some of the old Vedic notes and things, that was in kind of a pristine environment. Now we have frequencies being generated from cell towers, cell phones, Wi-Fi in your homes, 50 and 60 hertz, into this mess. So what are some of the things that we're going to need to do going forward to heal people with this mess of frequencies? And it's not just in the audio ranges, it's the full spectrum of frequencies being utilized, Craig.
Yeah, that's a big problem. It's a big problem in our industrial society that we have that. I think that started with the Industrial Revolution, really. And I think that basically it's important to keep your body tuned. It's important to eat good food, do breathing techniques, because consciousness is the most powerful remedy for any disharmonious vibration. Because, you know, you could live in a pristine environment like Bhutan and still go to a market and they're all arguing in the marketplace. So there's there's psychological noise as well, you know. So there's also, but if you develop that part of you that is beyond change, you know, there is a part of us that's out of space and time. You know, very interesting that Mozart didn't write his music in linear time. Da, 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 da. No, he was somewhere and he saw the whole thing in one moment. Bang, complete, all the parts, everything, and he wrote it down before he forgot it. And my sitar teacher used to remind me about this. He said, there is a part of your mind that is out of space and time, that receives the whole package in one moment. Now, artists have this, writers have it, painters have it. You know, they'll get downloads. It's the current term is, I got a download. Right. I got a big download. Okay. So, but
when you're talking, go ahead. When you get your everything set up, go ahead and play it. I'm just filling in time with Craig.
No, yeah, absolutely. But this is a really important principle to realize about consciousness, that there's a pure consciousness in all of us. And it's also that pure consciousness you need to go to not be affected by bad radiation.
Excellent. You talked earlier about the different songs or melodies or frequencies during the day. And in the world of electronic components, we run into this also. In the case, it's called the density of the air or the density of the ether or the mass of the electronics. When we look at how the planet warms up as we go from go into pre-dawn to dawn to the rise of the sun, the temperatures change, but it changes the density of the air around you.
Yeah, all that would contribute to music and different melodies at different times of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And really, there's the underlying natural aspect of the earth, but also now that we have this overlay of this unnatural layer as well, which is now worldwide. It's called the worldwide net, really. But and all the EMF frequencies and everything. So it's probably even more important that we align ourselves to natural rhythms. It's an industrial society living in a city. It's very easy to get into this rhythm of working all night and sleeping during the day. Because you're getting cut off from the natural rhythms of the earth. And I think it's really important to return back to the natural rhythms of the earth.
Yeah, I had a group of individuals. We were desert campers, and most of the time we sleep during the coldest part of the night and not out. But once in a while, a few of us get too involved with our social interactions and too many beers, and the dawn starts to come up and we're just ice cold. And we have spent the time of pre-dawn until the sun comes up, wrapped in blankets, waiting for the sun to come up because we were so cold and there was nothing else that we could do but stand there and wait. And the transition was amazing to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. George Harrison's
I'm
Here
really
Comes the Sun.
All right.
The timestamp for Magic Mike to share screen now. On
Good.
The video link. Yeah, give you the video link. So with the timestamps as well. Go then.
Cool. So I think if I click on share screen,
well, you're not using your mobile phone, are you? You got to use your computer.
No, he's using his computer.
Okay.
Mike, Magic Mike, just turn it up, Max.
And two settings that before you click it is for audio and visual on the screen when you go to the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully it's my first time doing this, so hopefully I'll be no technical issues.
Because when you were doing your presentation last time, we waited a long time for you to share screen because you were using just your mobile phone, not your computer.
Yeah, well, I can assure you my skills in MerlinsChamber are a lot more efficient than my Zoom skills. Okay, couldn't.
Or somebody else can share screen as well. But you just need to find the timestamp.
Okay, I'm back. So let's do share screen. Entire screen, yes. We should be in. So I'll just start, guys. Actually, there's a few photos actually of the MerlinsChamber experience, which I'd like to share.
Oh, you have your own photos, of course. Yeah.
There's me and Crystal in London.
That's a nice room.
Yeah, that was in Tintagel in Cornwall, home to Merlin's Cave. And there's me.
That's Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Is that Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Craig and I inside of MerlinsChamber.
And that was your past life, Merlin.
Yeah. Well, a lovely lady actually gifted me the artist's impression of Merlin whilst I was in Glastonbury. I was very.
I thought my memory is Merlin.
Yeah.
All right, then. So I think let's just turn my volume up. Yeah, that's on Mac. Let's just get to. I think it's 1 minute. It's 1 hour 8, isn't it? For Siddhika that we're...
Yeah, Siddhika is 1 hour, 8 minutes.
Okay, so we'll just start with Siddhika's testimony.
No
Okay.
noise, no sound.
You have to stop share again. You can stop, just stop the video and stop share.
Can you guys hear it?
No.
Oh.
You missed to click the sound when you shared the video.
All right. Oh, and let's go back. If I click on that, where's the settings for the?
You start. Okay. Stop share.
Yeah. So it just stops it temporarily. Then if I press the button again, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I tap to share audio.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Share audio. Those two that you need to click.
Tiny little box, just click it.
Yeah.
There is something below. It says to share audio, share and tab instead. Maybe it's.
Yeah, maybe Pontus will do the sharing. Come on.
No.
I don't
Because
have.
I don't want to do any editing. This is wasting time.
Okay.
This way.
I came for a session, and
we
Craig
got-
Pruess was
we
there as
got-
well. And I was there with a friend inside the chamber because you could fit 2 people in. And Craig did a little guided meditation, talk live. Or I've also got the video that Magic Mike recorded, so I could screen share that. But I can just ad-lib. Yeah, I in Glastonbury when Magic Mike came, I came for a session, and Craig Pruess was there as well. And I was there with a friend inside the chamber because you could fit 2 people in. And Craig did a little guided meditation for us initially, and then it started with this incredible music. And Craig has composed about 9 different pieces of music, all using these harmonics of nature earth tones developed by Fred Shelbourne. And Craig asked us to have an intention for what we wanted to experience. So we had the intention, and then the music started. And almost immediately I was like, oh my God, completely overwhelmed. And just an intense feeling of euphoria. I couldn't put the name to it initially, but it was just amazing. And what came to me was that this is the frequency that we should all be feeling. That this is it. This is the frequency of the earth, of the universe, of absolute joy and euphoria, and that all this other stuff, all the the hatred and the violence, everything is just completely unnecessary, and just completely overwhelmed with this feeling. And I was kind of opening up and calling my guides in and everything. So a very incredibly cosmic experience, and then it felt like my sort of crown chakra was kind of peeling off me. Very, very intense. And at the end, I was just kind of sat there. I was sort of crying. I could hardly speak. And then and then eventually I kind of came back to myself. But it was just absolute magic, just an intense feeling of joy. Euphoria, so just amazing.
This is what Mike Emery was saying about euphoria, right? And you experienced that. Wow,
Yes.
Siddhika, well done. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and it was very strange. It's like a memory of, wow, I haven't felt like this in decades. Maybe childhood memory, but then almost, I'm wondering, have I ever felt like that, or is this like a kind of a connection directly back to source to experience the euphoria of source? It was just very, very profound. Yeah.
Were you in the Merlin's chamber, Magic Mike's Merlin chamber?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Or did you build your own BubbleTech
No.
pieces as well?
No, I was in Magic Mike's chamber. Yeah.
Only that one time, that one and only time.
In Glastonbury.
You felt all
I did
this.
it. I did it a couple more times, and
Okay.
the next time I did it, it wasn't. I didn't have the intensity of the first time, and I think just sometimes, you know, they were still very powerful, but that first time was incredibly. And I went in and I wasn't feeling very good. I was
Awesome.
a bit depressed, a bit down, but then I was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we can stop sharing now. Mike has his hand up.
And the music that was
Wow,
being used was
awesome.
Craig. It was tuned to the frequency.
Okay, we can stop sharing. Mike, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like to explain how those trance pulses work.
Go on then.
It came to me sitting here one time, and I told Craig about it, and he made it happen in 15 minutes or something like that. You know, it's amazing. Anyway, so the way the trance pulse works is it literally acts like a bellows, drawing life force energy out of the void. So you have one frequency, this main frequency, say 432, and then you have a following frequency that's about 10% less than that. You know, it's lower than that.
1%.
Yeah, is it 1%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very close. Very close to.
Yeah. And so, but what happens is that those frequencies will travel from harmony to disharmony, and there's a gap in between them, and that gap opens and closes, you know, and so it literally acts like a bellows, drawing life force energy out of the void. And the pentagonal one that Crystal shared there, slam you in. If you just really don't do nothing, but you just listen to it, you'll be in trance in seconds, 20 seconds max. You'll be in a trance.
Wow.
So that's how it works, and it's explained in that video. It's explained how it works.
And also, Mike and I wrote quite a lot of notes on the YouTube page. If you go to pentagonal ethers, Merlin's transpulse, and then pentagonal ethers, hexagonal ethers, there's a long write-up on the YouTube page explaining.
Can you put a link there, Craig, on chat?
Pardon?
Can you put the link?
It should all be in the same list that I put earlier.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you go on YouTube search Merlin's transpulse, all these different pieces will come up.
Wonderful.
Merlin's transpulse.
Merlin's transpulse. Search words. Okay.
Yeah, and just put that in YouTube, and it goes to all my pieces written.
Well done, guys. I applaud you. The three of you did well. Right. Magic Mike, you want probably, instead of following my timestamp there, you probably want to, or if you follow, whichever way is quicker, because, you know, I don't want to do video edit here, and we only have 2 hours slot. So everything's compressed into one fine video, one length, all right? So if you could just go on the timestamp and show your manual on how you made on a speeded up a clip. Yeah, how you made the Merlin's chamber. Remember, you demonstrated that. You screen shared your instruction manual that you archived and recorded, and it was on that same video of the 132nd FESIG meeting, I believe. Yeah, 132nd.
You say it's the 53-minute mark, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Where you were showing Merlin's chamber workshop manual, that you were showing people how you made it.
Oh yeah, that's with you and I sitting in there.
No, it's not that. It's the instruction manual that you came up with, that you put notes and pictures there on how you made it.
Yeah, I think in the chat you put the timestamps. Could you remind me?
That's it. Yeah.
Is it 53? Is it?
I put the timestamp there, but we are having a video recording here. I mean, when I publish this video, nobody can get access to the chat here except the live audience here, the live attendees.
Could you just remind me of the timestamp so I can get to it?
Okay, it's the same video clip. It's on the 53rd minute, 6 seconds. You were showing Merlin's Chamber Workshop Manual.
Okay. Right, so just gonna share my screen again.
Yeah.
Okay, so this should be it. I'm gonna briefly, so everybody can see the video right now. So I'm just gonna briefly stop my share screen and pull up my document on the step-by-step guide on how to build it.
Okay, we did start off with how James organic piece of the BubbleTech.
Yes, I think it'd be a good segue into
I wish I really had the chance of having the healing session with you under Merlin's Chamber that time. That was before I flew to Malaysia that time. And this was when I was doing the meeting.
I'm just putting it up right now.
Yeah, I was really ill.
It might be easy. Actually, I've just got to spare with me, guys.
It would have helped you, Crystal.
It would have helped me. I was taken by ambulance to the hospital because I was having a chronic diarrhea. It was so bad for a month or so. I was brought to intensive care. But, well, anyway, it's my bad luck. Carry on, Mike. Magic Mike.
Am I still playing the video? Okay, so it's just loading at the moment. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna. So, guys, if you. Oh, here we are.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, so can everybody see the document?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to take everybody through the document I put together on with the step-by-step guide for making Merlin's Chamber.
So, folks, when you're
And
watching
this is I kind of approached it as though almost think of like baking a cake. You know, you got your ingredients, and it's very straightforward. So we got the connector pieces for inserting the pipes. We've got the pipes themselves, of course. And there's some details. Also the metal wiring that Crystal and I discussed about wrapping around the aluminium. Well, I've got aluminium pipes wrapped in copper wiring to create the piezoelectric effect. Some buying guides on the ultraviolet ones. And I'll get to how I made the triple cones in a moment. Those are my concave mirrors. And there's the pipes. So it's not actually an awfully complicated process. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a great deal of materials, come to think of it. And would everybody like me to just briefly discuss the triple cones in slightly more detail?
Very well. Whatever you feel. We don't have much time left. We can do it very quickly, fast forward. I think that's it. We can stop sharing now. Just to let people have an idea, because they can always go back to our old video at our YouTube channel, the FESIG 132nd meeting. Okay, you can find it in physics.
So this is really getting into the orgonite technology, and which has been refined by Mike Emery, who we heard from earlier. It's been refined. Do you want me to carry on, Crystal?
It's up to you if you want to very quickly go now.
So I'm actually getting a little bit confused. Like, I don't know whether it's like the audio from the video or the audio from you speaking now. I'm getting.
Yeah, I think we can stop sharing now. People get the idea, and they can go to BubbleTech site to find out. Did you post your instruction manual there at the BubbleTech Is it in Facebook, the BubbleTech site?
My actual guides, no, they're not actually in the Facebook group, but I can put my email address in the chat, and if anybody wants a copy, just drop me an email and I'll send them over.
Yeah. And you can get all the links from the speakers' names anyway that was announced at FESIG's newsletters. You can access all this from FESIG's website, okay? And just hover over the name of the speakers. As you scroll down, you see Magic Mike, Mike Emery. You want to contact Mike Emery, the person who invented this himself with his partner. You can get hold of Mike, and he's always ever so ready to teach. He's always very happy if someone wants to learn how to make it. Yeah, Mike? Anyway, so Craig, do you want to have any last sharing of
yeah, and then anybody want to ask me any questions, now's would be a good time, because
yeah,
you know, I've spoken quite a bit about all the different things I do, so it would be nice to someone lock in and ask a question.
thank you. So the whole sort of like the top people at BubbleTech are here. So if you have any questions, Mike Emery's here, Magic Mike's here, Craig's here, and I presume there are other members who made BubbleTech here as well. So now is your chance to ask questions before we close. Oh yeah, Pruess, you said you have something to share with Mike.
We'll get to that in a bit because we're running out of time. I have one question that I think is pertinent to the discussion, and this is from Scott O'Connell. I have noticed over the few years a transformation of gongs and bowls that are far transformed from what they always did. Is there and I'm going to go a little bit further on the question, is there some of the meditation that we see with these gong bowls or singing bowls and gongs in meditation, does that tie in with the Merlin's chamber as something that's augmented or is similar? I'm riffing. Go ahead. That's the question.
Yeah, you know, Tibetan meditation techniques often used very specially made bowls that sang in frequencies. And a lot of those frequencies were the frequencies that I've been using, right? So modern big crystal bowls that they use often tuned to A432, and they rub them or hit them, and these give, you know, quite pleasant and powerful vibrations to meditate to. And I made a whole album based on that with called Light Language Attunements, where we just used those crystal gongs and did wordless chanting. Or this woman went into a trance and made up language for it. It's called light language. Yeah. So yeah, there's scope in this setting of the Merlin's chamber and the kind of trance pulse tracks that I'm doing. There's scope for all these instruments to sound. I even used a didgeridoo as the main instrument for one of the earth frequencies, the D288 frequency, and with the 3/4 morphing from the 4/4 rhythm, all based on the 99 and 33 beats per minute. So when you know, each culture has preserved some aspect of frequency and its power, you know.
This is Scotty. Actually, it was the gongs that really blew me away. Now, I've been seeing these, I mean, huge gongs, 6 feet across, where they built, and it's just it's back to, because what we've been getting, this music isn't music. 95% they're talking about drinking, and so I'm actually, now that most of what we know, I was just reading today, Don Henley is gone, so I'm here to like remake stuff, and it will re-inspire and transform what was in out of tone stuff, because that was amazing what you said about the piano tuner is making it equally out of two. So I just got a bunch of harmonics. I'm trying to get my health back. I haven't even been able to make a BubbleTech thing. I got about 8 violet ray wands. Once I had in the other room on a cinder block. It was going about 1.5 years, and then I dropped something on it, broke it, haven't got back to it.
Okay.
I got to get crystals. However, to redo music, to remake songs, especially a lot of artists that are no longer with us,
absolutely,
and instill new, real, actual music. That
absolutely. And I did this.
I yield. Go ahead.
I did this with the Merlin's Transpulse sounds on, and made a redone version of Creedence Clearwater, Who Will Stop the Rain. And I sent it to Mike, and we were both grooving to it because it's such a great song. But I did all the perfect frequencies, did the whole and everything. So it's got the same power as the Merlin's Transpulse, but it's a great song, you know. So definitely you can do it. Do a remake of any good melody.
Craig, I prompted you to use CCR.
That's right.
You know,
yeah.
Anyway,
well, I realized how hard it was to get Fogerty's vocal happening.
Well, I noticed in the song that they played for me, it was very much like John Anderson when he was with
Vangelis.
Band. Vangelis, very similar.
Vangelis, my favorite.
Also, the drums, the percussion sounded like real, like Sade. And even Peter Gabriel's drummer, that's unique, one of a kind, real. So that's what I'm about. I'm trying to get my health and start doing music again and get back into.
Good luck, man. Go for it. You know, even if you're not well, do it because it's therapy.
Scott, you will get well. You know how to heal yourself. You're so knowledgeable, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got all the devices and the connections as well. Okay.
Yes, Scott, and you have all those violet ray wands, and you set yourself up a MerlinsChamber, which is just 3 chunks of concrete. You can, since you got this violet ray wand, you can put a violet ray wand on each one of them. It'll blow you away. 3 chunks of concrete in an equilateral triangle. It'll blow you away.
Thank you for doing all that work.
You put that around your bed. The very first thing that happens is your blood oxygen goes way up. It's immediate, and so you need that oxygen to heal. So that's where you go.
Right, folks, I think we need to wrap up before the second hour hit us, and we have to compromise with a small screen. I can't help it. So have you completed what you need to say and discuss with Mike Pruess?
I've got one quick question, just so that we get it for cohesion in the recording. When we look at the low frequencies, we get into the 0.5 and that kind of stuff. To reproduce that in sound, we have to go to something larger in size. And this is what I was going off of Scott's stuff. The gongs are bigger in mass, and we start to get the lower frequencies from them.
Yeah. Right. So shall I wrap it up now?
Yeah.
Brothers, sisters. Okay. Thank you so much, Craig, for coming to talk about your work. And you are such an accomplished musician. Perhaps one day we could ask you to do a composition for FESIG's anthem. That would be so good. So cool. Based on the 432 Hz or whatever. Okay, talking about the 432 Hz, right? I mean, the American musical standard has, dictated that people ought to tune it to 440 Hz, right? And you said if you try to do it otherwise, it will go out of tune because... it
was the piano tuner. I had a conversation. Could you tune my piano to A432? He says I could, but it would loosen the strings, make the pin block unstable, and therefore piano would go out of tune.
Yeah, it was done on purpose because we know for a fact that
this was around 1939. It was like there was a world edict to put the world's music in disharmony.
Yeah, in disharmony. So all of us won't be able to have a third eye open, because then we'll be stressed all the time. That's the Kabbalah plan. I should say no more, and we know that. Okay, so just to make a summary out of it before I close. Okay, so that's for the American standard requirement for tuning instruments, which is not a good thing for us human beings, right? But the Beatles tuned their instruments with the love frequency, the 432 hertz. So I presume, but they do, John Lennon used the piano. I don't know how he did it without going out of tune. And John Lennon's song, Imagine, the famous Imagine, use the heart chakra frequency, which is the 528 hertz, Craig.
Mm-hmm. There have been a lot of instances where people have detuned their recordings or speeded them up. You know, the whole thing with pop records in the 60s was they would do the whole thing and then speed them up slightly to make them brighter, sound brighter on the radio. So, yeah, and there have been intentional uses of good frequencies by people as well. I know John Lennon was very favorable to A446 as well, and a lot of Indian harmoniums are tuned to A446. Mm-hmm. So it's quite a rich field when you start listening to records and then you want to put a oscilloscope or find out what tuning it is.
Yeah. He went to India a lot, got influenced there. So to sum it all up, frequency is everything. Frequency from is everything from atoms to emotions is in constant motion. So frequency is really the
Mike Emery has something very interesting to say about frequency. I don't know if you want to
let me finish first, Mike, before I pass it over to the master. Okay, I'm just a student. So all matter, energy, and consciousness in the universe operate as vibrating energy at specific frequencies. And then when time travel is talking about time travel, right, they set the frequency signature as the destination before they could get to that. So when we were talking about technology and doing a time machine and like chronovisor and the looking glass, they were using frequency signatures to get to their destination. All right, over to you now, Mike.
Oh, maybe Mike has left us.
Oh, he doesn't like to be interrupted, but he hadn't started talking yet.
He's not there.
He can't be interrupted if he hasn't.
I know, but he hadn't started talking yet. So I thought I'll just say the last before I close anyway. Right, folks. So there being no other business, now this 145th FESIG meeting is adjourned to the 146th meeting, which will be on the 1st of April. So pen that down in your diary. We want to see all of you here again, and hopefully we're getting some super duper speakers. And if David wants to talk and he wants to bring his friend, that would be great. David Griffin, are you still here? I think he's gone to sleep. All right, then let's stop the recording, Pontus.